is a key conference that has been going on for more than 30 years, which is key in this domain of network technology research. Connectivity, digital connectivity, communications, it's a key area increasingly in our ever more digital society and economy. There is very good work which is being done in this domain in Europe with European researchers, academics, companies, and of course people from all over the world that contribute to that effort. And here it is a place to see, to experience what is being done, what are the developments, what are the trends, what are the novelties, to discuss about them, and to have a sense of these cutting-edge developments in this area of digital communications and connectivity in particular. This is a work that is supported at the European level because it's of strategic importance. It is supported with funding from Horizon Europe in particular, and I need to stress once more the importance of partnership, collaboration in this area between industry, public sector, academia. It cannot be done otherwise. In that regard, we have now for some years a dedicated vehicle for supporting research in this area, which is the SNS joint undertaking. We will hear about it a bit more later, and that's a way to go. I mean, partnership is the way to go forward in this key strategic domain. The efforts must continue because innovation, progress cannot stop by definition, and Europe needs to try to be on the edge. We have some catch-up to do in different areas of technology, as we know. In this particular area, I must say, of communication, connectivity, it is an area where Europe is, well positioned, certainly in terms of research, but also industrially, and that we need to continue with that, not to stay behind, basically. And the efforts must take place all along the value chain, I would say, from basic research down to commercialization and then monetization. There's quite a few challenges ahead, but also opportunities in this journey. We will hear a bit more about that in a moment. There will be a video that will be played with an intervention from Thibaut Kleiner, who's the general chair of the conference, who unfortunately couldn't be here today physically, but he wanted to have this intervention remotely to stress the importance that the European Commission attaches to this domain and to this conference in particular. And with that, thanking again everybody, all those that have made this conference possible. I can only finish by saying that have a good conference, make the most of it. This is the place where, in a very short period of time, you have lots, incredible amounts of knowledge concentrated, so let's all make the most out of it. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, old friends, it is my pleasure to address you today in this new edition of the EuCNC and 6G Summit. As you may know, I was recently appointed Director in charge of Future Networks in the European Commission, and unfortunately, due to previous commitments, I could not come this year in person. My colleagues from DG Connect are present today, and through the conference, and they will be able to interact with the many participants. But I am really very honored in my capacity of General Chair of the conference to give you a few introductory words. EuCNC, as you know, is an important and well-established conference. I participated myself several times to this conference in the past when I was in charge of the 5G public-private partnership from the European Commission side, and I can testify that it is a key conference for our European research ecosystem. So I really would like to congratulate the organizers for the great work they have done once more this year. But let me also share some views on advanced connectivity and its role in the future for European competitiveness and sovereignty. First, let me start by saying some words about the international context. We cannot ignore it these days, and it presents some major challenges. Security challenges with tensions between global powers, rise of multipolarity, and a conflict on our own continent. Secondly, economic security challenges, including risks for technology, risks for energy supply chains, tariffs, sanctions. The world we live in is unpredictable, and that is related also to rising gaps in industrial competitiveness and in technology advances. As the US and Asia forge ahead in critical technologies such as AI, robotics, quantum, connectivity and 6G, electronic vehicles and microelectronics, we need to keep up. Thirdly, the EU is facing specific challenges relating to our own digital infrastructures. Deployment is too slow. We have fragmented markets nationally. Investment is not sufficient, and we are not developing enough skilled workers. We witness dependency in our technologies in digital sector on cloud, on microelectronics, as well as difficulties in stimulating demand for advanced connectivity services. So let's face it, Europe today is behind some of its trading partners in some of these critical technologies, but there are also areas of hope and expertise and exceptions like in connectivity where there are still European industrial champions in 5G and tomorrow in 6G technologies. But here as well we can see risks and we cannot be complacent. This is why looking at the technology and market landscape, this is why looking at connectivity we can already identify trends and priorities. We see that digital technologies are more than ever crucial for innovation, for productivity in all sectors of our economy. And at the end of the day, they are critical for competitiveness. So what we need is state-of-the-art connectivity in our continent. We need it as a key enabler for all digital technologies such as cloud and AI. So when we say we want to make Europe the AI continent, we actually are saying that we want the utmost connectivity to feed the explosion of data, and we need more processing, transmission, and storage resources. We see new business models and entirely new markets emerging from these technological developments. We see new opportunities for the app economy, for the Internet of Things, for data analytics, for AI, and new forms of content delivery. So all this means that we need to prioritize some of these developments, and for instance, virtualization, cloudification technologies, they are already happening and they bring a paradigm shift by decoupling the physical layer from the control plane in a massive way. I don't need to explain this to you very much because you know it and you see that the telco edge cloud convergence paradigm and the disruptive trends in openness, in AI, in the disaggregation and in the softwarization of networks will be challenges to the way we have developed connectivity architectures in the past. This is a challenge, of course, for communication service providers, but of course it is also an opportunity. It is up to us to invent this future and to make good business out of it. So the European Commission is there also, and we are ready to accompany this evolution through our funding support, but also through our legislative initiatives. So very soon, the Commission, by the end of this year, early next year, we will propose an EU and Cloud and AI Development Act. We call it the CADA or CAIDA. It aims at mobilizing public and private efforts so that leadership in AI development is attained, because we have also the cloud infrastructure that is needed. But this is also an opportunity for the telecom sector, because we will integrate connectivity with cloud and with AI factories. And we are also preparing a Digital Networks Act to adapt our regulatory framework to these emerging needs and to the opportunities of 6G and cloud-native networks. So indeed, 6G development is instrumental for maintaining EU's competitiveness in the global tech landscape, and also to achieve our digital decade targets for 2030 in terms of gigabit coverage, and of course to support overall our digital sovereignty. From the Commission, we see 6G as a game changer, but it also requires efforts and also changes in the way we look at business opportunities. We still need substantial research efforts. We've done a lot, but we need more in fields such as radio interface, resilience and security, AI and automation, but also openness, softwarization, to name a few. We also need to develop successful global standards, and also to make sure that our industry is still leading in this process. Third, we need pre-deployment trials and pilots, and later deployment support. And of course, we need spectrum allocation. We can learn also from our experience in 5G, where we try to do this, but so far the monetization of 5G standalone is not strong enough. And this is something I really want to change in the coming years in the EU. In fact, our smart networks and services joint undertakings is really there to help, and it is the EU's key instrument to bring together the key stakeholders to develop these RNI 6G technologies, but also the test beds we need, and very importantly, the standards for 6G. It has a key role to play in addressing the telco cloud convergence, and so far we have already very good results. So thanks to all of you that have contributed, and congratulations already to the SNSJU for its achievements so far. And we have seen that in the Horizon Europe midterm evaluation. So now it is time to look forward, to draw indeed the lessons from the 5G experience, as far as the technology development, but also the technology uptake is concerned. We believe that 5G in Europe remains today an incompletely fulfilled promise. We have had this vision for some time, and notably regarding the vertical usages and 5G standalone deployment. More can be done in Europe. More money can be done in Europe on the basis of the new services. So we need to make sure that for 6G, we do not repeat the same pattern where we have great technology, but it is first deployed elsewhere than in Europe. We need to make sure that we align supply and demand, and that we can monetize these 6G deployments and build business models that will have the revenues we need to invest in deployment. This needs to be thought through from day one. So really a lot of opportunities ahead of us. I hope that you will have many discussions in this conference. And very soon we are preparing the start of a new European budget as of 2028. This will coincide with 6G maturing and being close to deployment. So a priority will be for us to support the take-up of 6G, the support of telco edge cloud and of AI technologies through trials and pilots. I'm really proud of Europe's achievements in connectivity technologies so far, but I think that we should, above all, be aware of these challenges and make sure that we collectively address them. And that's why this conference is important. It comes at the perfect time. So really feed our inputs, make sure that you showcase your developments, that you talk to each other, and that we together come up with a great formula. So let me conclude with a special thanks for the organizers and especially to Poznan University this year, to all the patrons, the sponsors, and the participants for their commitment and support. And I hope to see you soon in the next EuCNC, but even before that. Many thanks for your attention.
Thank you. Now, let me now invite to the stage the Executive Director of the Smart Networks and Services Joint Undertaking, the EU Public-Private Partnership between the European Commission and the 6G Industry Association, Ms. Erzsébet Fitori. The floor is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the very kind invitation. It is a great pleasure to be here today with this great community, and it is so very inspiring to see many of the projects which are funded by the SNSJU present at the conference. Following the very inspirational speech delivered by Thibaut, let me give you a bit of an overview, more specifically what the Smart Networks and Services Joint Undertaking, this public-private partnership, is doing in the field of 6G. Europe is extremely ambitious with regard to connectivity technologies, and rightly so. Our ambition is really to lead the global transition towards 6G. And indeed, this is a challenge as well as an opportunity, as Thibaut has said, because we are entering indeed a new phase of connectivity when the new technology is not only faster or more capable, but indeed it can involve or include sensing capabilities, and connectivity as we know it today might change entirely. To this end, what does the SNSJU do? We fund research and innovation projects, and we have a wide portfolio of projects which I will show you a bit later. We coordinate national strategic deployment agendas, in particular with regard to 5G cross-border corridors. We also ensure that Europe has a coordinated voice in the standardization roadmap. In fact, our program, our PHASE program, is very much aligned with the global standardization timelines. And also we strive to co-create with key vertical sectors. As Thibaut has mentioned, bringing together supply and demand has been critical for 5G, and it will even be more so for 6G, so that we can define innovative applications and ultimately lead to real-world applications. 6G as a technology is becoming more complex. There are adjacent areas and technology breakthroughs in adjacent areas which are critical to bringing about the success of 6G, such as AI, for example, or microelectronics, or cloud, or indeed, we have heard, softwareization. So 6G will require an unprecedented level of collaboration, coordination, synergies between the private sector, the public sector, researchers, and also very much the vertical industries, which are very much the demand side. We look at 6G on the one hand from the research perspective as a technological achievement, a key technological development, but it is very much more in our eyes. Connectivity, advanced connectivity, is the fundamental enabler of a lot of other technologies where Europe seeks to lead, such as the AI continent, for example, but also other industrial areas which are not adjacent to connectivity. Digitalization is and will be in the future the fuel of competitiveness of several industrial sectors, from automotive to manufacturing. Of course, we do face challenges, but Europe has critical opportunities as well. And the next 5 years will be very much definitive of what Europe is able to achieve. This is data from the World Economic Forum, OECD, and McKinsey, which is in fact a forecast of what economic growth will look like in the next 5 years. And what you can see is that the digital economy is projected to double in size by 2030. So I am not exaggerating when I say that the next 5 years will be critical for Europe seeing itself either as a leader or a laggard in digital. And we have strength, and we have areas which will require further efforts from Europe, but it is critically important that in areas of strength, one of which is advanced connectivity. As you can, I'm trying to use this very innovative tool. I don't know whether it works, it does. So one of which is clearly advanced connectivity. But we live in a world of not only geopolitical uncertainties, which bring about supply chain challenges as well, but also global competition. 6G might be actually quite groundbreaking, not only with the new sensing and positioning capabilities, but for example, integrating non-terrestrial networks with terrestrial networks. So the global competition is really on. I think that this is the moment for Europe to really emphasize its strengths and build on them so that we can maintain and further strengthen the leadership position in areas where we are already strong. Our phased approach of the entire program of the SNSJU is very much aligned with the global 6G development agenda, in particular with the global standardization process, which has started in March this year, and we expect it will accelerate over the next couple of years. As you can see, the line in the middle is where we are today. So we're approximately midway in our research and innovation program. And I think that the next few years will be absolutely critical in moving beyond research and innovation towards prototypes, towards test beds, towards actual real-world applications at the end of our program. And this is a summary of what we have done so far, where we are today at the midway of our program. We have invested approximately 500 million euros of Horizon Europe public fund, EU funding, in 79 projects. And with our currently open calls for proposals, we are on our way towards 630 million euros and to grow our portfolio of 79 research projects to approximately 100 ongoing projects. As you can see from the number of researchers, this community is extremely involved, and we would like you to continue participating in our call for proposals, driving Europe's strength in research and innovation in communications technologies. I would also emphasize the 43% figure that you see on the slide, which is the percentage of newcomers, which shows that this community is growing and diversifying as the technology domain is changing. How do we move from the 79 projects, the 500 million euros, towards impact? Actually, at the program level, we are working towards, and our projects are working towards, key performance indicators, which we are monitoring and following up on. What you see here is where the programmatic level achievements are to date with our first 3 calls for proposals and these 79 projects that I have mentioned. And I think that what we start seeing is a picture where isolated or individual projects are actually adding up to more than the sum of their parts to a programmatic level achievement. Maybe just a few important data points. Standardization is extremely important for the success of the technology, and our projects have submitted already more than 1,000 standard contributions to the different SDOs. The participation of SMEs has been a very important KPI of our program, and we have very active participation, 33% from SMEs. Which takes me to the next steps. We have 2 calls for proposals open. One has opened already on the 22nd of May with regard to streams B and C of our work program, and the second one will open on the 18th of June. Both will be closing on the 18th of September, so there is still a lot of time available for the building of consortia and cutting-edge proposals to be submitted. I invite you to participate. And to conclude, let me leave you with 3 thoughts. As we've heard, we live in a world of geopolitical uncertainty, but also global competition. The European model, built on partnership and collaboration, is a particularly strong one, and this is our strength. In this period of uncertainty and competitive pressures, sometimes changing political or policy priorities, building on both public and private investments, aligning European and national efforts will particularly be critical to Europe's success. As I have shown, we have had really quite important research and innovation achievements, both individually by our projects, but also at a program level. But the next years will be critical to shape European leadership in connectivity, to validate business perspectives, and to boost EU competitiveness. And the European tool, as has been mentioned by Thibaut, the European vehicle to achieve this is the SNSJU, and I think it couldn't be more apt to use the motto of the conference, towards the 6G world. SNSJU and our program is the European vehicle towards the 6G world, but a 6G world that reflects European values, creates opportunities and leadership positions for European players, and that can address in a very adaptable manner future priorities, challenges, be they political or indeed business-driven. With that, I would like to thank you for your attention, very much thank the organizers, the sponsors, the other speakers, and I wish you very good discussions during this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now let me invite to the stage Professor Wojciech Sumelka, the Vice Rector for Research of Poznan University and Technology, to give a welcome address.
So, good morning, everybody. It's my really honor that I can tell a few words on behalf of Rector of Poznan University of Technology, Professor Teofil Jesionowski. It's my great honor and pleasure to welcome you to the European Conference on Communications and Networking, the conference with more than 30 years of traditions, today hosted by our university, Poznan University of Technology. We are really proud to bring together distinguished researchers, engineers, and innovators to explore and advance the frontiers of communications and networking technology. Communications and networking belongs to the priority areas of the Poznan University of Technology. I strongly believe that the convergence of AI, cybersecurity, and autonomous networks is reshaping the way we think about connectivity. The systems are faster, more intelligent, more secure, adaptive, and capable of operating with minimal human intervention. This conference provides a vital platform for sharing knowledge, fostering collaboration, and promoting interdisciplinary dialogue. I am confident that the insight exchanged during these days will contribute meaningfully to the scientific community and real-world applications in industry and society at large. Let me mention that PUT takes the pride in supporting research and education in wireless systems, networks, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and multimedia. We are committed to building an academic environment where innovation is driven by curiosity, whereas knowledge is shared openly across borders and disciplines. We have even built a new campus, so-called Konkolevo Airport Campus, to manage these challenges. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee, especially Hanna Bogucka, Paweł Kryszkiewicz, Adrian, Kliks, and Paweł, and of course the whole team, but also the scientific reviewers and all participants who have contributed to making this conference possible. Special thanks go to the researchers and presenters who share their works here, as your contributions are the foundation of the progress. I extend a warm welcome to our city, Poznan, and the campus of Poznan University of Technology, believing that we work together to shape the intelligent, secure, and sustainable networks of tomorrow. Please don't forget to discover the beauty of Poznan and Poland, of course, after lectures. Finally, I believe that you will put humanity at the center of your scientific approaches, although all things are connected with informatics and so on. And now, please enjoy a short movie about Poznan University of Technology. Thank you very much.
Activities is the Warta campus, centrally located in the city and nestled in the scenic Warta riverbed, with excellent connectivity to the rest of the city. The university offers students accommodation in 6 dormitories, along with amenities such as a canteen, student associations, student radio, a library, a modern sports hall, fields and tennis courts. Bicycle paths and recreational areas run alongside the Varta River, enhancing the vibrant student life where students can pursue their passions. The university takes pride in its choir, Volantes Soni, and athletes who earn accolades both nationally and internationally. Poznan University of Technology educates over 14,000 students across 9 faculties, offering nearly 60 degree programs, including 20 taught in English. The university attracts over 1,500 students from 5 continents and 80 countries. Interest from international students has grown significantly in recent years, with many drawn to the diverse English-taught programs and numerous international agreements that provide opportunities for short-term and long-term exchanges. Interest from international students has grown significantly in recent years, with many drawn to the diverse English-taught programs and numerous international agreements that provide opportunities for short and long-term exchanges, offering invaluable international experience. Poznan University of Technology is the only public university in Poland that leads the European University UNIS, a consortium that brings together 10 universities from across Europe. Students can also take advantage of numerous courses and internships offered by the consortium's member universities. The university offers opportunities for further development through 30 postgraduate study programs. There are over 300 doctoral students conducting research in the English language doctoral school, while more than 300 participants are enrolled in postgraduate studies. The high quality of scientific research at the university is confirmed by the latest categorisation performed by the Ministerial Science Evaluation Committee. Poznan University of Technology is also a welcoming environment for creating business ideas and developing startups, serving as a hub for transferring the latest knowledge and technologies into practical applications. The university's potential is reflected in 1,300 research and teaching staff members who are involved in both national and international research projects. The university conducts nearly 1,000 research topics with expenditures close to 200 million PLN. Approximately 5% of the research staff is annually listed among the top 2% of the most influential scientists in the world, according to Stanford University. In addition, the university secures grants from nearly every available funding path in Poland and Europe, including ERC grants. Poznan University of Technology is a highly reputable institution with a well-established position and reputation. In the 2024 Perspektywy ranking, we were ranked in the top 10 overall and 5th among technical universities. Poznan University of Technology is the only university in Western Poland with an aviation training centre that includes a fleet of training aircraft. Here, innovation meets reality. Two of the investment projects being developed at the Konkolewo campus, the Space Robot Testing Centre and Earth Surface Imaging, have been selected by the European Space Agency as laboratories where students from ESA member countries will undertake internships. This is where technologies for future space exploration missions will be tested. Additionally, Poznan University of Technology is also the only university in Poland with a photovoltaic farm. Our near-zero energy buildings are entirely based on proprietary technology. Poznan University of Technology boasts a modern infrastructure where tradition meets modernity. Poznan University.
Now I would like to give the floor to Professor Paweł Kryszkiewicz, the Technical Program Committee co-chair, and Professor Adrian Kliks, right after him, the local organizer co-chair. At this moment, I would also like to give them special thanks for their hard work and devotion to the organization of this conference. Thank you, Paweł and Adrian.
Thank you very much. So, my pleasure will be to give you the message from TPC chairs. Maybe, like, I hope I will be at least partially as interesting as the movie before. But to do this, let me start from some interesting story that happened nearly 100 years ago in Poznan. So it was 1929 when three mathematicians from Poznan University started to work for Cipher Bureau of the Polish Army. They worked on the new cipher machine from German cipher machine called Enigma, probably. Most of you know it. And back then, most of the ciphering tools, the ciphering tools were using linguistic tools. And they used a different approach, new research base, so they used group theory from mathematics, and they did the first breakthrough in 1932, breaking code. However, as Enigma evolved, so did their methods. So in 1938, they had to extend the solution using so-called bomb, so electromechanical machine like a computer. And it was quite successful. I think nearly 70% of messages they were able to decipher. However, as in July 1939, just before World War II began, they shared their findings with French and British military intelligence. And later on, based on their research, their achievements, Alan Turing worked like the father of artificial intelligence. We know him very well. I suppose worked on this in Bletchley Park and proposed something called his bomb, his electromechanic machine. Obviously, this was based on the new extensions of the Enigma code. Interestingly, maybe some of you saw the movie The Imitation Game about the Alan Turing and his achievements in this matter. And attentive viewer will catch a single sentence mentioning the impact of Polish mathematicians. In 2014, these mathematicians were honored with IEEE Milestone Award. So you can see on the here this. Oh, yeah, I have to learn how to do it. It's not easy. So this is the milestone, and also in Poznan, this happened. The Cipher Bureau was located just a few hundred meters from here, so you can walk it a few minutes. And there is a monument, and in the interactive museum, I think Adrian will address it in a moment. However, why I'm saying this story? Because this is very nice in relation with the changes in the program we did. So we have here artificial intelligence, thanks to these electromechanical machines. We have security issues. And this year we are proud to introduce two new tracks. So this is AI for C and SAC, so security aspects and quantum communications. In total, the program is divided into 9 tracks. We have 28 regular paper sessions and 2 poster sessions with, in total, 74 posters. Poster sessions happen today, tomorrow, just around lunch. Something about statistics, maybe you will be interested. So in total number of submitted papers, it was 288, it's a record. Accepted 143, so below 50% acceptance rate. So I think we were quite selective in this matter. I think that may be interesting for you as well. So how the submissions happen in time. and it shows how we act in general. So day 0 on the x-axis means the final deadline we had. So this at this day we reached 288 submissions, and we see how slowly it increased the number with, I think, 3 huge surge like increases steps caused by the deadline. So on day minus 25 we had first deadline, then at day number minus 10 and minus 3 we had extensions. So this is when we started to work, and like deadline is forcing us to work harder probably. I also analyzed the titles of the papers accepted, and this is the word map of the main topic, the main words. So what we see here, for sure nowadays, even it's in the conference motto that 6G is a king. So 6G is more common than 5G in our titles. Second, because EuCNC has strong emphasis on demos and all the proof of concept. We see many performance, testbed, implementation, experimental words in the titles of papers. And finally, strong increase in the AI-related topics. So we see AI-related keywords, so AI, learning, federated, and so on. Looking at the geography, we see that 87% of authors come from Europe. So indeed, not only in the name, but this is European Conference on Networking and Communications. And as for the authors, we have 50% coming from Spain, 14% from Germany, and then France, Finland, and Greece having around 8% of papers attributed to these authors. What else we have in the program? Yesterday we had a quite successful workshop. I think everything went smoothly. We had 4 tutorials, and it's record-breaking both in terms of number of submissions we had for these 2 things, but also in the numbers of these workshop tutorials that happened because of this, our trying to stretch the conference venue, and I think we did it quite well. Because there were 18 workshops, 4 tutorials, slides you can find in the proceedings. And we also, over the next 3 days, we will have special sessions. There will be 90 of them. Some of them were shifted from workshops. Some very good workshop proposals did not fit into the program because of space limitations, so we proposed to shift them to special sessions, and authors agreed. What else can we propose? So we will have 4 panels.